Okay, that was the second mistake of the day. These sheets are pretty heavy and I'm pretty wore down. The first mistake was forgetting to turn on the microphone. I learned on the very first video the microphone was going to be an issue, so I've ordered a wireless and it's in the mail. So I just have to narrate through some of this stuff. Now, like I said, that first 4 foot is a porch area, so now I have to cut that sheet in 4 foot length to finish the inside of the building area. But that stupid microphone, you couldn't really hear what I was saying. Using this V is something old Les Newman taught me when I was building a rocket horse when I was about 10 years old. You put your tape measure down and you mark from the line into a V shape. That way you go straight through the center of that V and you're right on your line. If you do a mark just like a dash, you can see one side is not level with the other side. So if you don't mark the original one by accident, you're off. So it's better to use that V. Just makes it a lot easier. Okay, you noticed as I started to make this cut, I pulled that guard back before I started to cut in. The reason we do that is because we want this cut really straight, and when that guard hits, it tends to pull your saw to one side. When I was younger and a lot dumber, I used to wedge that so that that guard stayed back, which turned out to be a pretty stupid mistake because one day I caught my shin with it, and thankfully my blue jeans stopped it, and it didn't hurt me too bad, but that taught me a lesson on that. Leave the guard on. Just be really careful with it. And as you can see, I put the support on the wrong side, which caused it to bind a little bit, so we'll just clip that off. Okay, I wanted to explain something right here. The reason we laid these out the way we did. You want to put long piece in the short piece, and then you want to switch that around the other way. The reason we do that is because now where we have the seam, that tongue and groove is solid over that. If we'd have laid them equal 8 foot, we would have a seam that was unsupported. So that's the reason we lay them out this way. This way, both seams are fully supported by the tongue on the other side. Okay, remember earlier when I said I had made my second mistake of the day? When I dropped that sheet onto the frame, I damaged the tongue on the other side. Now you're going to see I'm going to struggle quite a bit with this piece because that tongue got damaged. Makes it a little bit more difficult to get it on. Okay, right there, I pretty much had to resort to breaking away little pieces of the other tongue to get the board to go in straight. Okay, what I'm doing now with this little piece of board is you can't bang on the edge of that tongue without damaging it. So we set this little piece of 2x4 just above it on that lip, and that way we're able to knock it into place without damaging anything. Okay, this pissed me off. As you can see, we got to the edge and it's not flush. It turns out that the 4 foot includes the tongue and groove. So we are about 1.25 inches short. If we're going to be short, I'd rather it be even on both sides. The wall plates are 3.5 inches, so it's not a huge deal, but thankfully I found it now before I put down the construction adhesive, or we'd be in a lot of trouble. Now I'm going to put down the construction adhesive. We put this on the floor joist to seal this to the sheets. That prevents that creaking sound and kind of helps reinforce things. See that movement right there? I'm fixing to pay for that one. This is where that clumsy part comes in. Yep, there we go. there, I'm measuring it out to compensate for that shortage on the other side. Like I said, I'd just rather have it even if it's going to be there. Okay, right now I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes looking for my hatchet. I'm not sure where I put it. Yeah, I'm feeling yesterday. Still looking. Hey, I finally found it. As you can see, we rarely make it through a day without bleeding. That's one. Finally, we're down to the last piece. You're going to cut this into a 4-foot section. As you can see there, I'd have to put the square on the tongue side, and I'm not sure that it's straight. So I'm going to go ahead and measure again and put the square on this flush side. I don't have anything to spare, so we want to make sure we get this right. As you can see again, what we're going to do is put a little bit of support on this end, so when we cut across this piece, it doesn't sag down and bind up. Okay, finally we're filling in all the perimeter screws. These screws threw me for a loop today. The original ones I was using I decided were too short, so I was trying to use another box of screws. Turns out my bit was a different size. I got a short bit and tried that and it kept coming out. Well, finally I dumped the whole box of screws over and realized that the bit was in the box. So now we got it going. The important thing about getting this frame done was to get to the walls, right? No. The reason I wanted to get this done is because this flat surface here is where we're going to lay out the rafters for the roof. I need to get those done before I can build the walls, while we have a nice flat surface to work on. You know me, being dyslexic and trying to deal with angles, that's going to be fun. So that's going to be our next video, is laying out the rafters.